Now I'm going to have to take a little time off from this to fix this over here. I thought I saw a drip coming down here. And as you can see, look at that, it's wet. And I don't know if you can see anything under there. But if I feel this, you know, it's definitely wet. See? It's definitely wet. So what that means is this one's leaking, and that means I've got to replace the plastic in this, and I have got to do it before this wood stays wet too long. Well, I pulled the plastic out of this grow bed that was leaking, and as you can see, it's pretty dry. Now this little puddle of water here is because this collects moisture overnight. It condenses because it's cold outside. And this has been dripping down in here, so this isn't leakage. But you can see here, this is where the leakage occurred. And you can see it's been wet for a little while. And this is drying out now. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to put some new plastic in this so that it'll hold water. Now, one thing I want you to notice here is I didn't use greenhouse plastic before. And some of you may say, oh, well, that's a big mistake. But now look at this. This is what happens. See, this plastic has been out in the sun. Well, here's a better example. You see, it's been out in the sun. It's kind of brittle. And that's what happened here to this. It was out in the sunshine here, and it was kind of brittle. Now, here's another one. This one here needs to be replaced soon. This is not leaking yet, but this is what I'm trying to show you here. Is here this gets hit by the sun, and it's getting brittle. So you can kind of tear it apart. It's brittle, so it doesn't have much strength left. So the sun has deteriorated this quite a bit. If you can keep the sun off of this in the sunshine above the water level, this should last for a lot longer than it did. And as it was, it lasted for 4 years. And that's not bad. That's all the guarantee you'll get out of greenhouse plastic. But anyway, the point is I'm going to try to do this. What I'm going to try to fix this, I'm going to put a new piece of plastic in here, of course. And then what I'm going to try to do is cover the edges. You see here how I have some pieces of wood that cover the edges. You can see it quite well here on this one. See, I put these on here basically to hold those edges down. Now, this is greenhouse plastic, so I don't think I need to worry about that. But the point is if I were to, let's say, overlay here a piece of plastic, black plastic or something, just overlay it so that it doesn't have to hold water, but it has to give this shade. If I were to do that all the way around here, I think this would last who knows how long. And the same thing here. If this had been shaded, see, this wouldn't be rotting and pulling apart like that. It would be just like brand new. So what I think I'll do is when I replace the plastic sheet, plastic film in there, I'll put it on just like I put this on. But what I'll also do is put another little, something to drape over the inside just to shield this plastic from the sunshine. And that should make it last a very, very long time. Well, okay, here's the plastic sheet that I'm going to put in that grow bed that I've got to replace the lining in. And this is standard. I think it's 3 mil, 6 mil, I'm not sure. It's not 6 mil. But this is standard, what a lot of people used to call visqueen. You buy this in the construction aisles of the big box stores, and it's meant as a temporary covering or something like that when you're, I don't know, doing construction projects and everything. And this is not solar resistant, but I found in my little experiments that it is more solar resistant than standard white or clear plastics that are not greenhouse grade plastics. Those things in about a year, the clear ones I found in my experience that they'll just start to shred in direct sunlight in about a year. These won't. These will hold up for at least a couple of years. And these are a lot cheaper than greenhouse plastic, and I'm going to use them to line the grow beds, but not these one over there I was just telling you about. So what I've done here is that grow bed over there is it's about 1 foot deep, and It's 8 feet long and 2 feet wide. So this piece here, I cut this one to be 11 feet long. So that's the 8-foot section, because you need 8 feet plus 2 more feet and then a little bit extra. So that's 11 feet to cover the area in that grow bed. And the width, I'm not sure how wide this is, but it's folded. I think it might be 15, 25 feet wide or 24, something like that. But anyway, so it's 11 feet long, and what I've got here is I measured 5 feet wide to cover the 2-foot distance in the grow beds there, because it needs to be 5 feet because you got 2 feet and 1 foot for each side and a little bit extra. So, and I've, let's see, what did I do with that? Oh yeah, there's the scissors. So what I've got is, it just turns out that 5 feet wide is right here on this nice little fold. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a fold right here. And so I'm just going to cut along this fold line, and we'll be ready to go. Put this in there. Got a nice sharp pair of scissors. Oh, there we go. Now the only drawback to this kind of plastic is once you put it in, sometimes they do have leaks in them. The clear stuff, you can see it right away because you can see through the clear plastic that there's water leak in them. The wood gets discolored because of the water. This one you can't see through it. So you just have to, I guess, put it in and hope it doesn't leak. And then if it does, it's a little more difficult to figure out exactly where the leak is coming from, because you can't just look through it and see that, hey, there's a leaky spot over here, over there. You just know there's a leak. So what I'm going to do with this is probably fill it up slowly, like a couple inches at a time, and let it sit overnight. And when I see the leak, at least I'll know if there is a leak. And if I see the leak, at least I'll know approximately the water level at which it is somewhere in the tank. So at least I'll concentrate on there. Now, these leaks are not that hard to fix. You can buy a number of adhesives to just put it on there. What I've been using before, of all things, is something called liquid electrical tape. Believe it or not, that works really, really well. I've used it before, and it's lasted for years. So anyway, there's my piece of plastic, and there's the other one. And so now what I'm going to do is hold this up, and I won't bore you with that, but I'm going to look at this through the at the sun and see if there's any obvious leaks in it. There shouldn't be. This is brand new plastic, but you never know. It can happen. So okay, there it is, rough placement. Now I did find there wasn't a hole right here, but there was a fold there, and I thought, yeah, might as well put something on it. And I need to put another coat on that. But in my experience, that kind of stuff has lasted for years. And there are other things. There are spray glues and things like that that work really, really well. The water doesn't seem to affect them at all. And but the plastic has to be completely dry before you apply it. That's my experience. Now there was one place up here. Yeah, here it is. That there was a little tiny pinhole. I'm not sure how that got there, but it was. So I patched that up. But as you can see, it's completely up and out of the water anyway, so that one wouldn't have mattered. As far as I can tell, there's no leaks in this. This was just a weak spot that I kind of thought, I might as well dab that over. Anyway, we'll get this installed and put in. Kind of looks like Dracula's coffin, doesn't it? Well, anyway, we'll get this finished, and off we go. Okay, well, we've got the plastic installed, and we've got the inlet and the outlet installed, and we just turned on the water. So what I'm going to do is let that fill up to about an inch, and then straighten out all the plastic. Okay, we've got about an inch in there. Maybe I'll let it go up a little bit higher, but then we'll shut the water off and let it sit there all night to make sure at least the bottom has no leaks in it. So let's turn the water off right here. There we go. And Now it's going into that far tank out there, so it'll take a minute to shut it off for the flow to slow down from the other tanks. But this ought to at least see if the bottom leaks. I kind of doubt it, but we'll let it sit all night and find out in the morning. Well, it's the next day, and as you can see, I've got a little bit more than a couple of inches of water in here. But no leaks so far, so it looks good. So we'll start the water again and fill it up the rest of the way, or maybe 2/3 of the way full. See if we got any leaks there. Looking good. Well, and a few hours later, as you can see, it's full. And you can see the water coming out of here, filling it up. That's coming from this tank over here, which of course comes from the next tank up there. And anyway, then the water exits over here, and then that drains out along that white pipe and goes back down into the fish pond. It looks good, so I think we're done. I'll just leave that for a day and make sure that it's not leaking anywhere. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put the rails back on the side like I showed you up there, and then I'm going to put probably cut a piece of this off, or whatever excess I have, or maybe I'll get another piece off of that old stuff over there, and just drape it over here a little bit, kind of like a shade cloth on all around, to see if we can keep the sun off of what's above the water, and hopefully get this to last a lot longer than the other one did. Even though 4 years ain't bad, if it lasted longer, that'd be even better. Well, one last time. And this has been sitting all night. It's been running all night. As you can see, it's clear full. No leaks, so I think we got it. We're doing good. So we'll put the rail back on top of this, and then I have to put some styrofoam covers on it for put the plants in. And it looks like we got it all fixed. Okay, so next video, back over to this, my new aquaponic grow beds. We'll get back to these and finish those off and get those running.